Free Jackson and for Jackson Hospital Community Projects Coordinator, Rebecca Calkins. Hello, Rebecca.
Hello there.
Good to see you. Welcome back to the show.
Good to see you.
Well, Brady and I were just talking about students' mental health, and that's really a big issue. And I know with all the things you're involved with, that's really, you spend a lot of time working on coordinating various resources for our community's mental health.
Yep, and we do have a Most Teens Don't Club out at Michigan Center, so good segue there. So Most Teens Don't is our social norming campaign around substance use prevention. Either it's an after-school club or it's, for Michigan Center, it's part of their leadership class. And so it's really about changing the culture of the school that it's okay to talk about mental health issues, it's okay to talk about substance use issues, and how we can prevent them. So.
Yeah, and it's just one more thing on that list of what most teens don't do.
Yes, yep, absolutely. So I'm going to start reaching out and building up the program. Of course, pre-COVID we were at 10 schools, now we're at 4, so I'm building it back up. But it can be an after-school program or it can be something inside of the school. But the idea is that it's peer-led. You know, as much as the adults talk until they're blue in the face, it really helps to have those leadership from the peers to be able to change their culture in their school.
Does it have to start as grassroots among the kids in order to get in their schools?
Well, like any after-school club, they need an adult advisor, so they'll need to choose a teacher in their class, in their school. But yeah, absolutely, it can be from anyone. If the principal wants to reach out to me, absolutely, we can get those started.
All right, let's talk about some of the things happening right now. This week, you've got an Advancing Behavioral Health Summit on Thursday.
Yes. So we're really excited about that. It is virtual. Again, this year, it was, it's always hard to plan ahead and see where we are, but sometimes the virtual just really works better for people and they're able to get on and do these trainings. So we'll have 12 different sessions over 4 time zones rather. So from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Thursday. You can sign up on our website, drugfreejackson.com/summit. And it's a free training. We will be offering social work CEUs, prevention CEUs, and teaching sketches. So ideally, of course, we want as many social workers and teachers to come, but this is absolutely open to the community. And there's a lot of good sessions that are open to the average citizen too.
And because it's virtual, it becomes so much easier to pop in.
Absolutely, yeah. And you don't have to attend the whole thing. If you can only attend one session, feel free to sign up for that session and just pop in for that.
So it's a pretty big umbrella when you talk about behavioral health. What all are you covering? And it's a pretty long day too, 9 to 3.
Yeah. So mental health, substance use prevention, and as well as the trauma-informed care. So we have involved the Jackson County ISD, we have Lifeways involved in the planning as well as the Home of New Vision. So kind of covering all that could happen when it comes to the brain, right? Mm-hmm. So our mental health, substance misuse, and then trauma-informed care, which we know, I'm an ACEs trainer, so I'm very familiar with that, adverse childhood experiences and how that trauma can affect your mental health or substance use. So
it seems like really any student in school today could be trauma-informed, thinking about school shootings, bomb scares. It really has got to be on the mind of every kid going to school.
Yeah, and I think I'm really excited and energized by the next generation, Gen Z as it is, I guess. Because
we've got a name for it?
I think they're Gen Z. I'm a millennial, I think it's Gen Z. But because the stigma is changing around mental health, right? That it's not a big issue to say, I have a lot of anxiety today, or I'm really depressed today, and to be able to seek help and seek treatment. And I think there's been so much stigma in generations past, I think finally, and also coming out of the pandemic, I think, sometimes there are a few things that were good came out of the pandemic, and being able to admit, pandemic burnout and that I'm stressed and overwhelmed, and or just feeling very isolated after the pandemic. So I think we're finally working on some of the stigma around mental health. I think addiction stigma is still very big and is still something we're working on. I actually went to a primary care doctor and I was telling them about my new job, and they were like, I just don't understand how people can make that choice. And I was like, what? You're a medical professional. This is a disease, right? And I basically said, it may or may not be a choice the first time, but it is not. No one chooses to be addicted, right? That it is a mental, or it is, an illness. and something that can be treated, and recovery is possible, but to have this moralistic stigma around it is still saddening.
People that got their medical training 30 years ago, there wasn't, it didn't exist really.
Yeah. So I mean, we have a lot of work to do, not just with the youth, absolutely, and helping them with coping skills and things like that, but on the professional side of things, breaking down that stigma.
And there's no cost to be part of this virtual summit.
Correct. It is free. So just go ahead and go to our website, drugfreejackson.com/summit, sign up. And like I said, if you can't attend the whole thing, pick a couple sessions that look good to you. Anything from anxiety, self-care, transgender mental health, suicide prevention stuff, pandemic burnout. So there's a lot of different topics there. You'll definitely be able to find something that appeals to you.
All right. You mentioned a couple times Drug Free Jackson Coalition. What is this coalition? Who else in it?
So it is a community coalition. Involves prevention professionals, school professionals, as well as treatment and recovery people, Home and Vision, Jackson County ISD, Family Service, Children's Aid, all of those people. But we are always welcome for new voices. So anyone that is interested in or is working on either substance use prevention, treatment, or recovery can join us. We're meeting the second Wednesday of the month at 1 p.m. and you can find information on our website.
We've heard that during this pandemic, the use of and abuse of drugs has increased.
Yeah.
So the need for the support probably has increased too.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And just one of the things I love about Jackson is we're so collaborative, and so getting different people in the room to be able to work together on the same issue rather than keeping our silos. I think it's so important to break down those silos and be collaborative.
And that's what the coalition's all about.
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe there's a group that hasn't participated in that can still be part. You just show up for the meetings?
Yep, we meet monthly. You can just send us an email on the website and we'll get you the Zoom link.
All right, and most teens don't. That, again, a victim of the pandemic. You said it was 10 schools now?
We were in 10 schools.
Wow.
Now we're down to 4. But working, it's a rebuilding year. So, and it can be an after-school club. It can be, part of your leadership class or whatever classes, health class, things like that. But it's just so important. And I know teachers are bogged down right now with all this social emotional learning. And there's a lot of different programming that's coming around about that. But this program just is so important because it is that youth-led piece and that they're able to make the campaigns, whether it's posters in the school or a social media campaign or painting the rock or having different events, really changing the culture within their own school and empowering them to do that.
So school winding down now, the last month, so you've got to start a rebuilding for next year?
Yep. So I'm going to be reaching out just to make sure we can get in when we start fresh in the fall. I am trying to plan a summer event, actually. So that one is June 28th at the King Center. More details to come. But again, trying to collaborate, getting a lot of different, we haven't been out in the King Center in a while. So trying to get new places and get new people involved. So we'll have a summer event, at least most teens don't. And then start kick it off fresh on the fall.
Is it just high school?
Middle school and high school. Mm-hmm.
All right. And there's a connection between the different school groups? Do they all
So we actually have two county-wides. So one in the fall, one in the spring, where you can send 10 kids from each school to us. We usually have it out at the ISD. And, they get to meet people from other schools, which is one of their favorite parts, right? And they don't always have that opportunity. So, and of course we have lots of fun, lots of snacks and prizes and games, and we keep it fun, but of course educational, so.
Cool. So you mentioned this is a new position for you, but it sounds like there's some similarities with what Lifeways, now with Henry Ford, Jackson Hospital. So what are kinds of things you're doing as community projects coordinator?
I went from suicide prevention to substance use prevention. A lot of the same protective factors and a lot of the same root causes and things like that. So it was a pretty smooth transition. But still working with the Suicide Prevention Coalition and bringing them in and bringing new people into the Drug Free Jackson Coalition as well. And we're doing a little bit of work too around overdose prevention and those sorts of things. We have something called the Recovery Connection Team. We'll have to bring Courtney in for that one, but making sure that they have that connection post-overdose. So. A lot of stuff happening.
Good. Thursday, the link is drugfreejackson.com/summit, and you can spend as little or as much time in the summit as you want. Just pop in. And do you have to register?
Yeah.
Okay, register now, and then we'll see you Thursday.
Yep.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Community Projects Coordinator with Drug Free Jackson and Henry Ford Jackson Hospital, Rebecca Calkins. Well, next,